It is time to speak my truth. Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn tandem read has put me in the biggest slump that I've been in for a while. The tandem read experience is one of the worst experiences of my life. I should have just read them separately, but I thought, no, everyone seems to love it, I'll be fine. Famous last words for me, because I'm not fine. I'm in a slump and I don't want to be in a slump. So I thought I'd take you along with me to have a week of mood reading and hopefully get out of my slump. And we are starting off that mood read with Romancing Mr. Bridgerton by Julia Quinn. Next month we get Bridgerton season 3 and it's Penelope and Colin's season. And I'm so excited. And I can't wait. I literally cannot wait that I bought the ebook and I'm reading it. Well, I've started it. I've read the first chapter. I'm honestly so excited for Penelope to have her moment. There's been a lot of discourse on Twitter about this season, but I think it's going to be really great. I'm really excited for it. And yeah, I really can't wait. So we're starting with Romanticizing Mr. Bridgerton. I have a feeling it's going to be a very romance heavy week for my reading. I think this is my plan in my head. I said I wasn't going to set a plan, but I'm a planner. I've got a plan. I'm going to read this Bridgerton book. Then I'm going to move on to Done and Dusted by Lyla Sage. And then, because there's an F1 race this weekend, I thought I would read Throttled by Lauren Asher, which is actually on my TBR, and I'm actually quite in the mood for it. So as you can see, I'm in the romance mood, so it's going to be a bit of a week of reading romance. I'm just here for the good reading vibes, and I thought I'd bring you along with me. So I'm just sitting down to do my April reading journal spreads, which I am a bit behind on, but it's fine. And I thought I would just take this time to give you an update on Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. So yesterday I managed to read 105 pages of that book, which is the most I've read in a day in a long time. So I'm really, really happy with that. And I'm just loving it. I don't know if it's because I'm just craving a new season of Bridgerton so much that I'm just absorbing it all. I'm not sure, but I am having so much fun. So in this one, we follow Penelope and Colin, who have been like childhood friends through Colin's sister Eloise. So Eloise and Penelope are really great friends, and then sort of by association, Colin and Penelope have become friends. And the book starts off with Penelope admitting that she's been in love with Colin for a long time, since she first met him pretty much, and it like shows snippets of her growing up, and she even says even if she was someone who all these other eligible people wanted to marry, she would probably say no because she's in love with Colin. And we're now at this point where her and Eloise are 28 and are considered sort of left on the shelf, unmarriable, which obviously it's just so strange seeing this society in this book to today's society. But I think that you've just got to immerse yourself in that context of it's the 1800s in this society. Things work very differently to how they do now, and yeah, if you weren't married by a certain age, you sort of had this title of not good enough, unmarriable, that kind of thing. And something I am really loving about this book is seeing both Penelope's and Colin's like inner monologues or inner dialogue. Penelope is someone who's just very quiet and reserved unless she's around people she's comfortable with. And I very much see a lot of myself in the character of Penelope, which is maybe also why I'm really gelling with this book. And then Colin, who's this bachelor who is a Bridgerton who can get any woman he wants, and he's now 33 at the point in the book that I'm at now and hasn't settled down, and his mother is just always pressuring him. He needs to marry, he needs to marry. And so he then travels a lot because he wants to get away from the ton and this society that he's in. And he also sees his brothers around him, Anthony, who's the Viscount, so has all this responsibility of the whole family, and then also Benedict, who's a painter. He's got a painting in the National Art Gallery, and he sees these two as having a purpose. And we get this commentary that this society, not only is it hard on women, which we all know, it's also difficult in some aspects for men, especially men like Colin Bridgerton, who's, as I said, deemed this eligible bachelor with all these women who want him. He's got this pressure to marry and he doesn't perhaps want to, but he'd rather find a purpose in life like his brothers have. And there's this interesting discussion between him and Penelope where he's trying to voice this to her and she's saying, well, just go and find that purpose, just do it because you can. You're a man, you have the money to, so just do it. And then he's like, it's not that simple, it's not that simple. And it gets sort of into a argument. Penelope then says, if I could just go out and do something, just go and travel, go and find a purpose, I would. But I can't because I'm a woman who has to marry and mostly has to marry into money, and she hasn't even done that. And so I think it's really interesting that we're getting these layers between these two and these discussions between these two. And I think with the benefit, it's a benefit of them becoming friends to lovers because they are able to have these discussions. Whereas if they were just courting, they won't be able to because it wasn't deemed a proper conversation for a lady to have with a suitor. And so I'm really loving this aspect of this book. But yeah, so I'm really, really loving it. And some things developed. We're seeing Colin's feelings for Penelope start to develop. And something that I'm really interested to see how they adapt to the show is his realization that he very much fancies Penelope, and that he even says how could men be so stupid, when he realizes that Penelope has been in front of him all this time and he's not realized. I haven't done much else today. I've read a bit more. I'm sitting down to do my journal spreads, which I'll show you when they're done. And that's it. I've been catching up on some YouTube. I was going to go to the library today, but it's been raining, so hopefully I'll do that tomorrow. So it's now Friday, and I didn't check in with you yesterday because I didn't read anything. I was having a bit of a down day yesterday, and that's okay. It sort of carried on into this morning, but I've decided to not let it, quite frankly. Though I didn't read yesterday, I read a lot on Wednesday, and I've actually now only got like 70 pages left of Bridgerton book 4. And so I thought I'd talk to you about it just whilst I do my makeup. So I'm really enjoying it still and just having a lot of fun with it. It's a very fun, light-hearted read, which is exactly what I needed, I think. I think last time I checked in with you, I was saying how I like the discussions that it has, and that was mostly between Colin and Penelope. But since then, we've had a really lovely discussion between Eloise and Penelope about their friendship and about how Eloise is sort of feeling a bit like, I know I didn't want to marry and it was her choice, but she always thought Penelope would be on that same journey with her. This was after Colin proposed to Penelope. Penelope was saying, I always thought that too, but this has just happened. And and obviously like just saying how just about their friendship. It was just really nice to have that moment. I think it touched upon this like in the ton. It's basically just women against women, sort of trying to get the best husband of the season. And so it's nice to have that friendship between them. It's quite refreshing. Yeah, so I really, really like that aspect of it as well. I wasn't expecting to have some like good discussions in the book. I thought it would literally just be a fun, silly time, which it is, but it's got that added not dimension, just got that added aspect to it. However, I'm sort of not wanting to read it at the minute because the wedding has been and gone, and I wanted more from that. Like, we literally didn't get one scene from their wedding, and I think considering Penelope has been in love with Colin for practically her whole life, and she's finally getting to marry him because he finally feels the same way. Why haven't we gotten that? And even like the wedding night, we got nothing. We got nothing on that either. And I don't like read books for the smut scenes at all. If they're there and I enjoy them, great. But like, I'm not someone who will pick up a book because I know it's got smut in it. But we got one scene, one sex scene in there before the wedding, and I'm like, I feel like we just needed that extra, even if it was literally just that one scene on their wedding night. It just would have made it so much better because you've literally been rooting for Penelope and Colin for a long time, and it's all just brushed over. Like, it was literally two sentences like, the wedding happened 2 days ago, as did the wedding night. And I was just like, oh, okay. I wanted that. I wanted the wedding. I wanted the wedding night. I wanted it all. And we just didn't get it. So I'm a bit disappointed. And it's now just like this back and forth between Penelope and Colin about how he thinks she feels, and they're just not communicating about this certain thing that's happening. Which I'm not going to say because it is spoilers if you haven't watched the show. And obviously this is the fourth book. Yeah, there's this one storyline which is important to the rest of the books and a lot of what's happened in the previous books. So it's this discussion between them, but it's just so back and forth, and I'm over it. I really am. Just be honest, especially Colin. Just be honest, Colin. Like, what you doing, babe? Yeah, I'm still having a fun time, but this has considerably lessened the fun and enjoyment because it's not what I wanted or expected from this half of the book. But I'm hoping to finish it today. I think I said I've got like 70 pages left. I've just moved down here because my neighbour was outside just staring at me. Yeah, so I've just gotten ready to go out to the library. I need to return some books. I need to pick up a couple of books that I've got reserved. I might treat myself to a coffee out somewhere and maybe try and read. I'm not sure. I think when I finish that, I'm going to go into Throttled because F1 weekend, it's Friday today. And I really wanted to read it through the F1 weekend. So I think if I start it tonight, I can finish it on Sunday, and that will just be a really fun time. Also, how cute is my top? Protect the Forest. It's got loads of Ewoks on it. Love. I feel like I've said a lot of nothing in this update, so sorry about that. But I'm going to go out, make myself go out because I need to leave the house. Can make myself go out, have a nice afternoon by myself, reconnecting with myself, hopefully lifting this mood that I have, and then get lots of reading done later. It's confirmed I am the worst at vlogging and updating a vlog, especially when it's like not a themed reading vlog or I'm reading certain books. because I last updated you on Friday, I think, and it's now Tuesday. So we've had a whole weekend plus a little bit extra since I last updated you. So I did go to the library and I got 3 books from there. The ones I had on hold were The Night Shift by Annie Crown, which is a bookworm romance with a basketball player at university, and it just sounds really cute and I'm really excited for this. I first saw this in Waterstones and very nearly bought it, but I'm really trying to stick to my read 10 buy 1 challenge, although I have found a few ways around it. But as soon as I saw it and knew I wanted it, I was like, first see if the library has it. If you read it and love it, then you can buy it. Then I also picked up Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood because I've read Check a Mate by her and Bride and really loved them both. So I just thought it's time to read like her classic romance that she's done. For some reason, The Love Hypothesis terrifies me. I don't know why. Maybe because it is so loved and I'm not sure I'm going to like it. So I thought, let's go with Love Theoretically and see if I enjoy this one. And then whilst I was there, I was having a browse, as you do, and I came across I'm a Fan by Sheena Patel. I've seen this a lot on Bookstagram, and when it first came out, I really wanted to pick it up, but I just didn't. And so when I saw it, I was like, it's time, let's give it a go. And this just follows an unnamed narrator who's in a relationship with the man I want to be with, but she's also addicted to cyberstalking the man's other lover, an online influencer she refers to as the woman I am obsessed with. And it deals with race, class, and privilege in a voice that loses none of its authority for belonging to someone who's quite possibly deranged. Now, I don't know about you, but I love a deranged character. So I'm really excited for this one. And also on Friday, I did actually finish Romancing Mr. Bridgerton and I gave it 4 stars. I think when I last updated you, I was saying like we're going back and forth with something and I just want it to stop. And literally like 2 chapters after I told you that and started reading, it did stop. So yay. I gave it 4 stars because I just had a really fun time. So on enjoyment level, 4 stars, but if it's a bit more critical, I think it's a 3.25 or 3.5, just because the writing could have been better considering it's set in the 1800s. And also I wanted more moments between Penelope and Colin. I wanted the little moments, but also the big moments that we didn't get from their wedding night and their wedding. Like we saw none of it and it made me really sad. Over the weekend, I did start Throttled by Lauren Asher, which is the F1 romance I think I was talking about. I didn't finish it, but I did start it, which I wanted to do over F1 race weekend. So Throttled follows our female main character, Maya, who is touring the F1 season as her brother has been contracted to race for one of the top teams, Bandini. During the tour, she develops this attraction and chemistry to her brother's teammate, Noah, who's also her brother's rival. And he is not a relationship guy, he's a one-night stand guy. And he finds himself having these feelings for Maya and is really trying to push through to her. Attraction and chemistry is mutual, but she's like, it's my brother's teammate. I can't upset that dynamic because it will. And so we're just following that at the minute. Nothing too crazy's happened, but I'm having a fun time with it. I don't find myself thinking about it or wanting to pick it up. Like when I'm reading, I'm having fun. As soon as I put it down, it's out my mind. But it is really fun. Also at the weekend, I started and finished Spy Family Volume 1. I've had this on my shelf for quite some time and I finally got around to it and I had so much fun with this. I gave it 4.5 stars. It's a manga that follows a spy called Twilight whose newest assignment means he has to get married and have a child. But what he doesn't know is that the wife he's chosen is an assassin, and the child he's adopted is a telepath. And so you've got all these like different dynamics between this weird family. And it was just so fun, and in such a short amount of time, I just really loved the characters and the dynamic that they have. And I think the final update for this is I've got a very mini book haul for you. One of the ways round of my little book buying challenge is through Josh. He's just been really lovely, and every now and then he's been like, "Do you want a book? Let's go get a book." Because even though I'm doing this challenge, I've not been in a financial position so far this year to even treat myself to books, really, because I've not been working. And at the weekend, we did just that. So the first one I got was Scoops by Sam McAllister. I watched the Netflix adaptation from this, which is based on the Prince Andrew chapters, because this is about how Sam McAllister booked the famous Newsnight interview with Prince Andrew. And I was just so fascinated by that film, and I wanted to know more about Sam and who was involved in getting this interview set up and things like that. And so far, we're just sort of following her journey into journalism and how she wound up there. I think this is going to be a really fascinating read that I'm really excited to chip away at every now and then. And then I also got The Gentleman from Peru by Andre Osman, who is the author of Call Me By Your Name and Find Me. It's like a duology now. First of all, how gorgeous is this cover? I just love it. So this is set on the Amalfi Coast in Italy, and it follows a group of college friends who find themselves marooned there. And whilst they're staying there, they've been observing this other guest, and one day decide to invite them to lunch. And then they just uncover this man's miraculous abilities, strange wisdom, and a life-changing story he's about to impart to one of the friends in particular. And then at the bottom it says, The Gentleman from Peru weaves achingly poignant insight into a story of regret, fate, and epic love. And that is just what sold me on this. When I read Call Me By Your Name and Find Me, there were just some lovely quotes and beautiful writing in there. I was like, if that writing is in this, I feel like I'm going to love it. So now I'm just hoping for a really lovely, warm, sunny day where I can read this outside. It's Wednesday afternoon now, and I finished Throttled, and I've ended up giving it 3 stars. It was fun, and whilst I was reading it, I was having fun, but the writing wasn't great. I loved the F1 setting. I loved that Maya was a vlogger and like grew her channel through like F1 interviews and getting to know different racers and the teams and things. And I loved, there was this one moment where Maya and Noah were talking about what they want from each other, and I just loved how open and honest they were about it. Towards the end, I felt like it was a bit too long. Like it felt, on the one hand, it felt too long, but then when it came to things such as Maya's brother, finding out about them, and the family dynamic that Noah has, that just seemed to resolve really quick, and I wanted more from that and it to have a bit more of a emotional impact, and it just didn't. So it's a 3 stars, but I will be carrying on with this series because, as I said, I did have fun. In terms of the slump, has it gone? I don't know. I didn't read as much as I hoped to in this vlog, but also at the same time I've read quite a good amount. What's going on with my hair? I don't know. I have really frizzy hair, and I know I shouldn't go to sleep with it wet, but I made that mistake, and so it's pure frizz. So the slump is still sort of here. I'm hoping I can get it gone. I'm actually in the reading mood, and I want to start a new vlog today to go up after this one. So hopefully we can do that. I'm still not ready to return to Throne of Glass, but I really want that series finished. I want to know what happens. So before I leave you, I have a really exciting package. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. Second Too Funny Story by Emily Henry, and they have both been released this month, James, or actually are releasing this month. So it is Lee Bardugo's The Familiar, and it's the Waterstones exclusive, which I think is just the sprayed edge. Oh wow, so this is what the hardcover looks like, and then it's got these gorgeous end papers which are foiled, if you can see. How stunning. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I don't actually even know what it's about. I'm obsessed with these. I want wallpaper like this. Oh, exciting. So that's the end of this vlog. I hope you've enjoyed trying to get out my reading slump with me and following along with that. That's everything from me today, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the week and weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.